the Destiny 2 live stream with myself. So when I left you, we had just met Devon Kay, who is the sort of your main contact on the world of Earth, essentially, and he's from the European Dead Zone, where we did some missions for both him and Soraya Hawthorne, who is the clan master of Destiny 2. So, we also met some of the main characters, or NPCs as you would call them in gaming terms, from all over the tower and all over the world. So just a reminder of who some of them may be. We met our little ghost, who is our little companion that will be following us through the whole Destiny journey, as well as three of the class vanguards of Titan Vanguard being Zavala, a Hunter Vanguard being Cade 6, and Warlock Vanguard being Ikora. So without further ado, let's get right back into it, right back to where we left off, and we'll see what the next mission has in store for us. Now while it's loading, ignore this, that's something for a bit later on. So the thing that just came up then was a movie from the current season that's airing in Destiny at the moment. So we don't want to ruin any of the storyline by dealing with those. But because I have other characters who are up to that point in their journey, it automatically just shows me now on all characters. And it's taking me to a place where I don't want to go right now, but unfortunately it's forcing us to go there. So what I'm going to do is just basically ignore anything that they're talking about, because I didn't really have a choice to go there.
We need boots on the ground on Io. Recon.
Hey Rasta, thanks for joining me here.
It's already disabled Rasputin. I'd lean on Eris's expertise.
So what's happening now is that they're showing me a bit of dialogue, and they're flying me to a planet that we haven't discovered yet, called Io.
Chance at understanding what we're up against.
Because Io is the place,
she's too valuable,
one of the main places.
Find her, Guardian. Bring her home.
One of the main places that they're using for this season of Destiny, the season of the Arrivals. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fly straight back to orbit and we'll get on with our missions. And as always, if you have any questions, want to say g'day, feel free to just chuck it in the chat there. But since my last stream, I did have two people actually ask me the same question, so it's something I'm going to cover right now because I did kind of breeze over it a little bit. Breeze over it in my last stream, but I'll cover it now while this is loading. So, this idea of the subclasses. So, there are some games that can relate to this as well. There are 3 subclasses here, as you can see. Solar being fire, Arc being electric, and Void being power of the Void. Now, what I didn't explain to you all is that, yes, there are 3 variations, and you don't have to do anything to actually unlock all 3 variations. The reason for that being is because of this new system that they introduced with the Forsaken campaign, and actually a little bit after the Forsaken campaign, called the New Light. So what they did was they created this thing called New Light, which was aiming to bring in a whole bunch of new players into the Destiny universe. And they wanted to bring people into the universe and not have them so far behind. So what they did is they allowed anyone who came, both new and veteran, if they created new characters, the ability to have all 3 subclasses as well as all 3 of their variations. However, this middle variation, because it's got a different melee and a different super, that's the same for most of them. The reason this was the Forsaken super. So what I meant by that was the middle one here. You had to actually have to play through the Forsaken campaign, which we will be doing way down the track, to actually unlock this middle tree here. And then you only could choose one out of the 3 subclasses to actually unlock the middle class of, and then for the other 2, you needed to actually have to do some pretty decent tasks to unlock them. But now if anyone's a new player and they're joining, you can easily just unlock it straight from the get-go, so lucky you. But hopefully that covers the subclass questions, because I received the exact same question twice from two different people asking if the subclasses are unlocked from the get-go or if you have to do anything. So I hope that answers your question. Another thing I'd just like to add as well, if you're thinking about joining, if you think about starting Destiny and joining up, I recommend that you do so soon, because Bungie, which is the company that develops Destiny, announced today that as of the start of the next year of content, which is mid-September, the exact date escapes me right now, but as of mid-September, a few of these planets are actually going to be archived, and they're some of the planets that are used within these initial campaigns that I'm showing you through this stream. So if you are interested in getting involved in Destiny world and wanting to do the same campaigns I am, I recommend you do them as soon as possible to make sure you take your time with them, get used to the storyline before September. I think it might be September 22nd, before September 22nd hits and they get archived, because I'm not 100% sure if you'll still have access to those planets or whether or not they will be gone for good. But as Rasta Oz in the chat there just cleared up for me, it is the 22nd of September. So still a few months away, still a few months for you to get a hang of things if you want to join the Destiny universe, but definitely recommend you getting on board well before the 22nd of September to give yourself that time to progress at your own pace. So when I left you, we just got by campaign standards, we just got our first subclass unlocked by going to the Shard of the Traveler. We also crossed over to Gaul, who is interrogating the Speaker, who is a person who is kind of like speaks on behalf of the Traveler, who is the general deity or general god who gives us the powers of light. And the next part on our agenda was to fly to Titan here to meet up with General Zavala. Let's go there and see what happens. I'm just going to turn up some of the sound.
Hawthorne already believes Zavala abandoned her and the survivors. Now that we're leaving, if we stayed, yes, we could help them survive, but if Zavala really is building a counteroffensive on Titan, we can save them all and take back the city.
So if anyone at any time, just same as the last stream I did as well, if you want to check out what weapons, armor I'm running, feel free to check out the Destiny 2 overlay on the right hand side of the stream there. And what that will do, it'll open up an overlay.
Vanguard fleet, Guardian ship,
an overlay window, and I'll show you everything I'm running.
We received your beacon and we're ready to join the fight.
Guardian ship, this is Zavala. It's too late. The Hive have overrun Titan. I was wrong to bring us here.
So now we're on Titan, which I believe is a moon of Jupiter or moon of Saturn, one of the bigger planets. But essentially, yeah, we're on the planetoid system known as Titan, meeting up with General Zavala, who has no light because he has had his light taken away when Gaul trapped the Traveler, as we saw in the first video.
Commander, we're here to help.
No! We've already lost too many lightless Guardians to the Hive. We can't secure this moon.
We have our light back.
What? Impossible.
Commander, if I may. Guardian, this is Deputy Commander Sloan. We have a counter-offensive to plan. To do that, we need to get this station up and running. There's a fleet to prep, Guardians to arm, and a trove of intercepted Red Legion transmissions to decrypt. It's critical we gain access to the station's control center. That's where you come in. If the light really is with you, send the Hive back to hell.
So if this is your...
Please,
I'll let them finish talking.
be careful.
If this is your first time on the stream with me, so some of the main things that you missed is that we are essentially a guardian of the light, and the light is essentially an essence that a being called the Traveler gives to us to protect humans and from the last city of Earth. So the game,
What
the
was this
campaign,
place?
The
they
Golden
talk at the
Age
most
cities of
inconvenient
Titan
times.
were once the pride of humanity. We thought they were abandoned, but I was a fool to think the Hive would not spread this far.
They were about to meet a new enemy faction that we haven't seen yet, called the Hive. So as I was saying as well, the tower which overlooks the last city, which is the last human city of Earth, has been overtaken by an enemy race called the Cabal, which are a bunch of war-loving, friendly space rhinos.
I
So
have
the whole
a bad
idea,
feeling about this.
the whole idea of this campaign is to work back through various planets and eventually take back the tower from Gaul, who we will see throughout this campaign quite a bit. So meet the Hive. This is where the game starts to get a bit more intense. Oh no. Like I said in the last stream, you'll know when I'm panicking if I go quiet. So we just met the Hive. I almost died, so yay. Now, I'm really worried. I really don't want to die on stream because I feel like they'll look bad on me, but it's going to happen eventually. I'm just going to let you guys know.
Copy that. Keep
I'm going to
pushing forward.
die somewhere
Commander,
along the
at
line.
this rate, we can start planning our counteroffensive. We'll be outside the city gates in no time.
I like to think I'm good at this game, which I am quite good at this game, but it does not mean I'm invincible. I almost got killed by some of the most basic enemies in the game because they swarmed me. But the story of the Hive, they're essentially... I guess you could kind of call them a sort of zombie-like things, but they first come into the Destiny universe in Destiny 1, where they have taken over Earth's moon, so they have nests all over the moon, which is good fun. And now somehow they've made their way to Titan. They have their own little spaceships as well, where they transport their troops, but... I don't want to get swarmed again. So if you weren't here when I talked about the weapons last stream as well, what I'm running right now is what's called a pulse rifle. So pulse rifle is good with accuracy and range, and it does 3 bullet bursts. So it's got a good mix between damage and range, as well as accuracy and lack of recoil. That's why I like using it. And then we've got my submachine gun here. A lot more recoil, but a lot faster rate of fire. And it also gives the elemental damage of arc. In case I come up against any arc shields, this is what I'll be using. Due to its heavy recoil, I'm just going to change back to the pulse rifle for now.
Hive were performing some kind of ritual. We should talk to Ikora. She knows all there is to know about Hive magic.
No one has seen Ikora or Cade since the city fell.
Oh, so I just got a new heavy weapon, so I just got my first grenade launcher. But I've also got a sword here, so which one? I'm gonna use a grenade launcher for now, because I keep getting hit by a lot of groups of enemies. And I also got my first scout rifle as well. I'm not sure if anyone who was on the last stream recalls, but scout rifles are actually my favourite. They're single shot weapons, but they require accuracy, but they do quite a bit of damage and they have good range, as you can see.
So we can move in.
I do much better with scout rifles than I do with anything else. So those knives I'm throwing, that's my variation of the melee for this subclass variation. If I was with any of the other two solar subclasses variations, I would just have a single throwing knife.
On the control center.
That's my variation of my super.
Some kind of hive breeding ground.
Take it out.
Just like I said in the first stream, Zavala's a little bit over-dramatic and a bit serious. He's very demanding for someone with no light. My grenade launcher as well. It's not as strong as a rocket launcher, but you get more ammo out of it, and it also can chuck it around corners that bounces. But it still kills just as easily. So in case you forgot, what that sound means, and what the grey around the edge of my screen means, is that I'm in a spawning restricted zone. So if I die here, I have to go, it'll teleport me all the way back to where that zone begins. So let's hope it's not a long one, let's hope I don't die. It normally means that there's a boss coming, or a tough enemy, or a tough sequence of enemies. So this is the main area of Titan. A lot of Titan is outdoors, but we are floating in the ocean, so it's kind of expensive. There's the boss. So the reason why I keep dodging at random times is because when I dodge, I actually reload all my weapons. So if I'm in a tight situation, I can dodge and reload my weapons at the same time.
Copy that.
So it's very effective
Zavala
in
and
that
I are
way.
inbound.
But each, like I said, each different sort of class ability. So mine is the dodge. For warlocks, they have a rift they can put on the ground, which can either heal them or empower their weapons and make them stronger. And Titans have a shield they can put up. So they can put a giant shield to block all shots, or they can put a minor shield down, which helps them reload faster when they crouch behind it.
We're approaching the landing platform. Get up here and take a bow.
Very different sort of class abilities, but they're all very, very effective at different times.
I didn't dare believe. If the light can find its way back to you, then perhaps there is hope for us all. Our numbers will continue to dwindle. We can no longer protect ourselves, much less the survivors. Without the light, are we even Guardians anymore?
As I say, dramatic.
We won't last long with dead generators. Wave energy converters power this station, but thanks to the Hive, they're in need of attention.
We can take care of it.
Yes, I believe you can.
So let's go help Vivu Zavala. So the other person that you just met as well, her name is Sloane. So she's the second in charge, and essentially, if Zavala dies, she becomes the vanguard for Titans. Shake it up a little bit. I'm going to change my subclass. Let's give Void a go. So Void is good because you can go invisible if you use it correctly. Let's try this one. So with the variation of the subclass I just chose, what happens when I dodge is that I can go invisible for roughly 3 seconds. So it's good to get out of tight situations. Some of the tight situations I've been in so far may have warranted using it, so we'll see how I go. I really need to get a better ship. It looks all tattered and gross, and I'm not about that life.
Alright, we're not out of this yet. Now that we've reached the control center, we still need to power up the place before we can take care of our fleet.
Still on double
Commander
jump
Zavala tells me you've volunteered. I'll run tactical. Shipwright Holiday here will provide tech support. It's a straightforward op. Get in, flip a switch, get out. Sloane's got a way of making things sound easy, doesn't she?
So if you don't remember who Holiday is, that's Amanda Holiday. So she was the main person in the beginning who flew us up to the place where essentially Gaul kicked us and bitch slapped us off his little ship. And which started all this rubbish. So at the moment we're facing both Hive and Fallen, but they're not friends, so it's essentially three warring factions all trying to kill each other.
Did we lead the Fallen here?
No. Those vultures have been following us since we evacuated Earth.
I'll deal with one at a time. I chose a variation that didn't use dodge invisibility, but what I've got now is invisibility bombs. If you see little ammo crates drop on the ground as well.
The Hive have infected
I
everything.
always talk when I'm trying to talk.
Holiday, we've got to get you back in the air. We'll need ongoing aerial threat assessments to keep our perimeter secure.
Oh,
Ooh,
yeah.
take a look at that one.
You know my ship took a beating during the evacuation.
I'll bump you to the
Yummy.
front of the line for repairs once the lights are back on.
Great. Great.
As I was saying before I was interrupted by the women speaking, the crates that they drop of ammo there, purple is for the heavy weapon, green is for the secondary weapon, which at the moment is my submachine gun, and white is for my kinetic weapon, which is the scout rifle. Uh-oh. Miracle they didn't kill me.
We can see the wave energy converters from here.
Sweet. Now just flip the switch and turn them on.
I love it how they just think it's so
Accessing
easy.
systems now.
Some of the pistons are moving, but we're still sitting in the dark.
Something went wrong. Pistons must be jammed.
Sorry, pal. But you're gonna have to go out there. Bring a workaround.
Wouldn't expect you guys to go up there, would I? So that's a stasis field. If you step inside it, it slows you down. As soon as you walk out of it, you're fine. Oh, yay! Tripwires. Let's have fun. So my super ability for this subclass and this variation is I can shoot out a bunch of arrows where essentially if it touches an enemy, they basically die. But if it hits the ground near them, what it does, it tethers them. So it basically makes them blind and confused and they don't shoot and they just are very vulnerable to damage. Like so. So as you can see, it's tethering all the enemies that are nearby, and they can't shoot me. Yeah, so the Hive are now sending out exploding, essentially suicide bombers. called curse brawls. So they're screaming things that run at you and try and claw at your throat, like Walking Dead.
Did you hear that?
Oh no. So the ones that run and try and claw at your throat are called thralls, and these ones that explode are called curse thralls. And that scream you just heard is a witch. We're gonna get killing witches now. So with the invisibility, as soon as you shoot or attack, it goes out of invisibility, no matter how much you've got left. A scream normally means that you're gonna die.
We made it to the converter platforms.
Okay. Get to the stalled pistons. See what's jamming them. Once they're all moving, we're in business.
I swear, in Destiny 1, when I heard that scream, I had nightmares for days. In Destiny 1, if you heard that scream, it normally meant that this evil witch called Omnigul, which actually has a part in this, surprisingly enough, when she screams, you better run.
Oh yeah, found the problem. The Hive had gunked up the pistons.
Then let's find a fix.
First piston's good to go. We gave it a power scrubbing.
That's great and all, but, it's still pretty dark on this end. Sounds like you got more scrubbing to do, Guardian.
How about you get in your ship and do it yourself? Sounds like a bloody banshee. Yeah, so the scream that I was mentioning, which is from Omnigul, she's a boss in what's known as a Nightfall. So what I'm doing now is a normal campaign mission, which is of average difficulty. But as we go up, we can do strikes, which are normally meant for cooperative play of three or less people in a mission. It's a bit harder than a normal mission like I'm doing now, and you work together to complete the mission, essentially. Then on top of that, we have a harder version of strikes known as Nightfalls. So they're like the challenge ones. Again, 3 or less people. I definitely recommend that if you're going to do a Nightfall, that you, 1, meet the light level criteria, and 2, have 2 others with you, because Nightfalls are meant to be difficult, and they make it almost impossible to do it solo. Because the whole idea of a Nightfall is to do it as quickly and as efficiently as possible, because the quicker you finish it, the more points you get. And the more high points you get, the more better rewards you get. So you want to be able to do it with extra people. And then after a Nightfall,
Final piston is clear.
after a Nightfall, we've got raids,
Control
which
center's still
are
dark, so
6
it's gotta be
people
more than a
activities,
piston problem.
hardest
get in and futz with the
hardest
circuit
things in the
breakers.
game, where it's various mechanics that you have to
central
work
platform.
together
Everything
as a
runs through there.
team to try and achieve the same objective. So it's very team cooperative based raids are. Normally you can only do them with 6, but some raids you can do with less than 6, as long as the team is very good at working together. Very good at working together, and are very skilled players as well. But normally with raid, I would always recommend that you utilize 6 people if you can.
Circuit breaker is going to be around there somewhere. Find it and flip the switch, just like I said.
They give a lot of instructions for someone with no light.
Yeah! Powered back! Exemplary work, everyone. But we still have to deal with these intercepted enemy transmissions.
So for some reason, they like to do this little thing where we fly out and then fly right back in to watch a cutscene. It's weird. And my ship is nowhere to be seen, so that's not healthy. Let's change from a grenade launcher to a sword until my ship decides to come back. Actually, what I'm going to do, while that's loading in, because it seems to be having some issues, I'll show you some of my favorite emotes. This emote here is perhaps one of the most popular emotes in the game. Quite rare to unlock. You get it from a raid known as Spire of Stars. There we go. We flew in, we're back. I'll talk a bit more about emotes later on, because you do unlock quite a bit of emotes as you go along, and you can also get them from Eververse, which, funnily enough, if we open our directory, it's a new week today because it's Wednesday, and it's past 3 AM, so we've got a whole new week of Eververse items to look at. As I mentioned before, the weekly reset for us here in Australia at Eastern Standard Time is 3 AM, I believe 3 or 4 AM on a Wednesday morning, so it should all be well in bed by then. So when you wake up on a Wednesday, normally everything, including the weekly activities, what the vendors are selling, have all changed and swapped to a new swapped to a new sort of line of items. Let's go talk to Sloaney.
Hey. It's a hell of a view, isn't it? We're up and running thanks to you. There's plenty more to do around here, though. Chief among them, finally breaking ground on a counter-offensive against the Red Legion. I have a plan.
Later. One thing I will recommend if you are a new player is every vendor at each of the, I'm going to call it enemy planets, so planets with enemies on them, has 3 bounties that you can get every single day. I recommend that you always get them, because what they do is they give you experience points as well as the resource needed to upgrade your level in that faction, which will get you some new armor items. Let's show you, for example. That requires 60 to do, and then it gives me an engram, which gave me a new gun and also a shader that I can put on some of my armor if I wanted.
Good luck.
So let's have a look at what that gun was. So it gave me a scout rifle. Now I've got 2 scout rifles and a sword equipped. But during that last mission, I also got another arm piece. So I'm going to put that on. And as you see, my average light level, which is the general amount of strength I have in comparison to the world's,
Every one of us reaches
has
a point where
increased
we have
because
to
of
decide what
the
kind
increase
of
in my
guardian we're
arms
going to be.
and the increase
Don't
of
let it
my
pass you by.
new secondary weapon. Let's have a look at what that quest is. So any bounty that you have, you probably can't see because my head, I can't see fully because my head's in the way, but your bounties will always be up here. So you can have, across your quest lines and your bounties, you can have, if you see in the bottom left hand corner here, you can have a total of 63 quests and bounties going at the same time. So that's together, not separate. You can have 63 bounties if you want, as long as you have no quests, but I wouldn't recommend that. It's good to have a mix of both. Because some quests require similar sort of tasks to be completed. So you can be completing one quest and accidentally do another at the exact same time. It's one of the key staples of this game. Welcome, Trojan. Welcome back. So I remember that you were in my first stream as well. And I did answer your question earlier on, but I'll just have a retouch of it for you now. So, essentially, the subclasses. Split into 3 variations. This 3rd variation came with the Forsaken expansion, that, which is one of the biggest expansions of Destiny 2 ever. So it came with that one, and normally what you had to do was you had to complete the Forsaken campaign in order to unlock one of the middle variations from one of the 3 subclasses. But due to a system called the New Light system, which they introduced with Shadowkeep expansion, every new player that joins Destiny is able to have direct access to all 3 subclasses and all 3 variations of the subclasses when they first start out. And they did that in order to try and attract new players to the community, to the game, so it's kind of like a sense of goodwill in a way, to make sure that they aren't too far left behind. I hope that answers your question that you had earlier for me. Because normally what would happen is, when Forsaken was out and you had to complete Forsaken in order to unlock the middle variation, the other 2 subclasses, their middle variations, need to have to do some very hard tasks in order to unlock them. And they were quite annoying tasks as well. So we're rounding 45 minutes in. How's everyone doing? Anyone got any questions? Excuse me. Any questions? Any suggestions of things you wanna see in Destiny a bit more? And have any questions about any of the lore that I've mentioned? Feel free to chuck it forward. I'm not 100% over the lore, but I feel like I've got a 95% good grasp of the lore in general. Been playing Destiny for many years. Just while that's loading again. One of my favorite emotes is this one. I just like it. You have some partner emotes as well, where it puts a marker on the ground and anyone can walk up and complete the emote with you. Oh, here we go. Start the quest. Great time.
Holiday has detected an unusual amount of electricity being redirected into the arcology.
Yep. Juice like that can only mean one thing. A network of CPUs. Powerful ones. Maybe powerful enough to decrypt that Cabal signal we intercepted.
Unfortunately, we don't know where the network might be located.
So you're gonna have to snoop around, not draw too much attention.
Guardian, securing this asset could turn the tide of this war with the Red Legion. Without it,
I'm waiting for them to stop
what
talking.
comes next.
This little vehicle here, some of you from my last stream or last video that you may have watched, this is my Sparrow. That's the thing I was talking about, the little vehicle that you can ride on enemy planets, which will take you around places a lot faster. You can summon at any time. As you can see, it says unable to summon because I'm indoors right now. Let's show you the sword. So when you're in a sword, it actually puts you in third person view, but it essentially kills or highly damages any enemy with one swing. It's a pretty good heavy weapon. In Crucible, which is the PvP activity, it actually can kill Guardians in one shot.
Looks like the Fallen were trying to break
So it's a
through
good weapon,
those
but
tiles.
the problem with that is you have to get close, and then people can easily just shoot at you. So unless you're good at like sneaking around corners, I don't recommend using a sword in Crucible. Some swords actually have projectiles, which are quite good. Yes, sorry. I'll get your question in here. So just like Rasta Oz has said there, depends on the activity you do. Like I said, strikes, nightfalls, you can have a maximum of 3 people up there, but you don't have to have 3. Raids, you can have a maximum of 6. General exploration, you can have 6, I believe, as well. But I've never tried to have 6 on general exploration because there's not really any point to having 6 on general exploration. You can basically do anything general by yourself, or even with a friend or 2 friends. But yeah, I've never tried to have 6 people doing general exploring. But yeah. That's a good question. I'm not sure what the going price is of Destiny at the moment.
Over there. One of the access terminals we're looking for.
Let me have a quick search.
The CPU network is deep in the maintenance levels.
PlayStation.
Amanda, is this what we're looking for?
Destiny
Bingo!
2.
That's the place.
So I've just got my laptop
Okay,
in front
I've
of
got
me,
the
just
location.
in case something
Let's
like this
find a way
does
down.
come up. I can answer your question for you while that loads. So what we're doing now is we're essentially breaking into a facility here on Titan to access the computer network to help us break encrypted messages from the Red Legion, who are the enemy faction. The enemy faction who took over our tower. This weapon has a pretty cool effect. When you do a precision hit, so it's like a headshot or sometimes it's a chest shot, depending on who the enemy is. The person actually explodes, which can harm other enemies around them. That's pretty cool. Some weapons have effects like that. Let me just answer that question while I'm walking.
Definitely in Hive territory now.
Indeed. Keep radio chatter to a minimum. We don't want to draw any attention.
Scout rifles are probably not the best weapon to use in here, considering I'm about to get a whole lot of enemies coming at me, but we'll see how I go. Destiny 2 at the moment, it won't tell me because I've already bought it. So unfortunately you're going to have to do that research for yourself, but just hazarding a guess. Australian dollars, probably around 20 for the base game. If you get it from EB Games, you might be even lucky enough to get it for 5 or 10, but that's just for the base game without any expansions. It all depends on how much you actually want to go into it first off. I recommend buying just the base game first off, you get a general feel of the game, and if you like it, maybe expand the expansions afterwards as well. But some of the weapons and armor that I'll be running throughout this requires the expansions to either collect, so just keep that in mind going forward. Probably shouldn't have tried to charge at him with the sword there, but I lived, so it doesn't matter. Oh, your first ogre. Hello, this is your first ogre. They shoot massive, like, continuous eye blast at you, as you can see there. So you want to hide from them. Their precision points are essentially the eyes on their head. And they also do ground blasts like that. You will fight much harder ogres as you go throughout the game. That was only a base ogre. This part stumps everyone. Some people fall straight down. If you fall straight down, you die. So you need, when you're falling down, always look to where you're falling or where you're jumping to, so you have a general idea of where you need to land, rather than just doing a leap of faith. You need to kind of see where you're going to direct yourself. It will save you from dying a lot of times. And the good thing about this game as well, it doesn't try and rush you, or sometimes it tries to rush you a little bit, but like there's no real general and defined time limits that you have to adhere to on campaign levels that I can think of. So you can take your time. And that's one of the reasons why I like this game originally, because first-person shooters were not normally my go-to sort of games when I originally started playing video games. I was actually into racing games, but the fact that I could take my time getting used to the buttons was a big appeal to me, because they let me get used to everything at my own pace. Open sesame. Oh, this is the fun part. Kinda run for my life.
No, there's no way the Hive didn't hear that alarm. We got the CPU, but we stirred up the entire Hive colony.
You can try and stay behind and try and kill them all if you want, or you can run and run and run and get into a tank.
Guardian, can you make it to the center of the arcology? We should be able to send someone to pick you up from there. Holiday.
Yeah, I'm on it.
Got my own little tank. It's not really a tank, it's more like a bulldozer. I can run over any of the enemies on my way down. It's just kind of appealing to me.
This road leads to the center of the arcology.
You can choose to just run out and shoot them all if you want,
Strapping in and about to take off.
but
I'll be there ASAP.
just running them over is far more appealing to me than trying to take on like 20 million thousand enemies.
I see.
Yes, sir.
This thing's pretty durable. The health of the vehicles that you're in is always in the same area as your normal health up top there. As you can see, I've run over quite a bit of enemies, including the exploding ones, and my health is going completely fine. There's a few times in this game where you will be driving vehicles. The reason why I thought this was a tank is because there is another mission where you get to be in a tank and not run over things as well as shoot them, so good fun.
Got eyes on you, pal. Meet you at the end of the road.
Good work, both of you. Let's get that CPU back to control and decrypt these transmissions.
This place is quite beautiful.
Things may finally be
Too bad it's
looking up
overrun
for
by
us.
like a bunch of alien space zombies. I guess alien and space are kind of the same thing, aren't they? Let's meet Gaul again, shall we? I love watching the cutscenes because it's been so long since I have seen them. That's the Almighty. So one thing I won't be able to show you is basically the Almighty. This thing is crazy. There's a whole story built around it, which we will explore together. What it does, it draws power and it basically destroys planets, destroys suns, destroys everything. It's basically the Cabal's...
the Almighty.
Basically the Cabal's mega
The
weapon.
crown jewel of the Red Legion, and life's work of their leader, Dominus Gaul. Gaul has subjugated hundreds of worlds. Those that resisted no longer exist. You see, the Almighty annihilates stars. Nothing and no one survives Gaul's ambition. What he wants is the Traveler and its light. As for the Almighty, it's now pointed at our sun. In short, sir, the war's over. And we've lost.
Funny. They made a whole campaign about us losing, apparently.
We built our home under the protection of the Traveler. When our enemies attacked, we built a wall that stood for centuries. But now walls mean nothing. This enemy has taken our home, taken our light, and now they threaten our very existence. We're going all in on this Almighty. How long before the fleet's combat ready?
Zavala, wait.
If we wait, we die. But if we attack together, we can take back our home, our light, our hope. Or we die trying.
Like I said, on brand with
No.
Titans. Over dramatic.
I need my fire team. I need Ikora and Cade.
So, that is Titan done. I'm just going to change to my Arc subclass now. So that's the planet of Titan done for this campaign at least. So I believe next we are going to a place called Nessus. So let's have a look. Yep, we're going to Nessus. So I'd probably say Nessus is one of my favourite parts of this campaign, purely because you will get to meet my favourite person of all time, known as Failsafe. Failsafe is... actually, I won't tell you who Failsafe is, but I'll let Failsafe speak for herself.
Commander Zavala needs the Vanguard united again. While he prepares for the assault on the Almighty, we're going to find Cade and Ikora. Luckily, we picked up an odd signal from Cade's ghost. It's being boosted somehow from a centaur called Nessus, which is strange. Centaurs are really just big rocks in the outer reaches of the solar system. There should be nothing there.
This is pretty cool. We'll get to meet another enemy faction called the Vex. They're essentially killer robots. So we've got killer zombies, killer robots, and then we've got the Fallen,
So much
who
for nothing being here.
I don't know how to explain what the Fallen
Let's
are.
get to high ground so I can pin down Cade's location.
But yeah, killer robots. Go figure. Out of anything that tries to kill us, may as well be robots, considering we're a robot ourselves. How's everyone doing out there? Anyone got any questions, or we're all good? So yes, welcome to Nessus.
Here we go. Tracking Cade's signal now. I think I'm getting something.
In over my head. Vex trap. Wilson?
Vex trap? What is Cade getting us into this time? Something around here is blasting that signal into space. We find that something, we'll find Cade.
So Vex are the killer robots that I was just mentioning. We won't see the killer robots yet, but give it
There,
time.
the signal's coming from that wrecked ship.
Hello. Are you here to rescue the Cade 6?
Whoa, you're not Cade.
Do it, Rasta.
The Cade
Do it.
6 is currently caught in a teleportation loop. He's over there. Whoop.
I
Now
believe
he's
in
over
you.
there. Whoop.
He's
Oh, I just missed failsafe.
Well, that's complicated.
That's
I can
sassy.
help you. But I'm gonna be super unpleasant about it.
I'm sorry. What?
I have uploaded his new coordinates to you. Against my better judgment.
Okay.
So that is failsafe, the amazing bipolar wonder of Nessus. She is meant to be our guide on this desolate planet, and it sounds like she
May
wants
I
to
help
half
you
the
with
time
anything else?
kill us, and half the time help us.
Yeah. Are you okay? You sound a little off.
I am the Exodus Black's failsafe. Call me failsafe. I boosted the Cade 6's signal in hopes he would be rescued. And look, here you are.
Oh, I see. She's just an AI. A malfunctioning AI.
I heard that. At your service.
Centaurs are supposed to be just giant icy rocks. How did all this happen?
A robotic alien entity called the Vex have achieved 92.014% conversion of the Centaur Nessus.
Yeah, so the Vex literally come to worlds and try and take over them by turning them into machines themselves.
Cade!
Someone there? Listen, don't ask me how this happened. I don't have time to explain what I don't have time to understand.
Warning, the Vex will vaporize you.
Bring it on. I got a new shotgun I'm going to try out. Oh, I'm not using my knife anymore. So this shotgun I'm running is called Toil and Trouble. Quite a good one. One of the stronger ones in the game. So I'm going to use a scout rifle for this part. Because shotguns are normally used to take down stronger enemies faster. In case you didn't see, I'm currently using my arc subclass in the middle variation. So the melee is slightly different than the other variations, and the super is basically the same super with a little added extra element. So with the Vex, their precision point is their little white area in their essentially their belly. So that's important to know going forward because there are a few times in this game where knowing where the precision points of the Vex are is going to come in handy.
So, Failsafe, what exactly happened here?
The Cade 6 attempted to manipulate the Vex portal system. He is now trapped in a non-linear loop. In my defense, I tried to warn him. His leg. Not that smart.
This is not going well.
I live for this dialogue.
How long have you been here exactly?
Long enough to see the Vex convert this entire planetoid, kill all living organisms, reformat molecules, and digitize brain waves for further study. It's a fascinating process.
She sounds way too excited about that.
Failsafe is beautiful, and if anyone says otherwise, you are wrong. That's my melee variation for this one. It has a little spark that travels along the ground for a little bit, which I find quite helpful when boosting enemies. The variation of super of this one is a little spinny thing, which can deflect any projectiles, including other Guardian projectiles of supers and stuff. It's very handy. When the other variation super is basically just straight staff running and stabbing and everything, but without the spinning projectile deflector. So like I said in my last stream, when you come to choosing the subclass...
Much better than my crew was.
I'm almost afraid to ask, but Failsafe, what happened to the Exodus Black crew?
Only my captain can access those memories. And he's super dead.
As I was saying, when it comes to choosing your subclass, make sure you read through what each subclass offers you, what the variations offer you, what the differences are, and play around with them, chop and change, see which one works for you best, and you'll be able to formulate your own sort of combat strategies for different situations, because it does help.
The Cade 6 is just beyond that Vex gate. Please proceed.
Won't we get stuck like Cade?
Oh no, my judgment module is much more reliable than the Cade units.
We're through. We're okay.
Of course, the Cade 6 is not far now.
I kind of feel like she's trying to kill us. So what's everyone's thought on Failsafe? What's the general consensus? Is she awesome? Is she crazy? What is she to you? I think she's misunderstood. She just represents literally what every other person is thinking, which is, I hate everyone, but I'm not going to pretend to be happy instead.
Here. Get me out of here! What's that? Is that a Hydra? Okay, yeah. No, handle that first, then me. Hey, you're doing great. Thanks.
Yeah, the thing with the Hydra, if you can guess, can't shoot through the shields. Precision point is the red eye. You have to wait for the shield to rotate and then start aiming for the red eye. That's cheating. because I killed the boss, all the minor enemies will teleport away. Almost died there. I was a bit worried.
Quick, hurry, come on. I don't know how long this portal's gonna stick.
Cade? What have you...
Stop. Look. Long story, and it may look like I don't know what I'm doing, but I do. Okay? Maybe not. It doesn't matter. Killing the power source at the origin point should break the loop and get me out of the portal system. Have you got that? Say you've got it. Say something.
Fine, I'll say it. We got it, Cade. Now, how did you...
Oh, my cotton socks! Did you not hear what I just said?
I'm guessing this is why they don't like him leaving the tower.
So, just need a reminder, that was Cade, so he's the vanguard of the Hunters. He's an XO, so essentially he's the one I'm meant to be reporting to. Go figure. I guess he's the fun one out of all three of them, so yeah, you can give him that much. Well, unlock more armor. I'm up to 928 now, yay. Next destination would probably be Nessus again. You can't see because my head's in the way, but Nessus is up the top right hand corner. Wearing my PlayStation shirt as well, so I actually got this from EB Games, which is a game store chain here in Australia, probably similar for those in the US. It's basically our equivalent of GameStop. And it's actually, apparently it's a FIFA shirt as well, which I find quite funny because I've never actually played FIFA in my life. Sporting games, not really my thing. I don't play sport in real life, so I don't see why I should play sport in video games. Essentially is what it comes down to. So you can dismantle weapons that you no longer use, and it gives you materials back. So the ability where if you hit them in a precision point they explode, that's called Dragonfly. So as you can see here, Dragonfly is an added thing on this weapon, and when you go into a weapon that's legendary or exotic, so purple or yellow, you can adjust some of the stats to what your preference is, and it tells you what it does in a second. I hate how it does that. I'm gonna go back into it. So you can adjust the sort of sight that you have, which may adjust some of your stats on the right hand side there. You can also adjust the sort of rounds and stuff. So adjust it to that one. Won't open. So change my sight slightly.
Failsafe, we're at your coordinates. Cade is stuck inside a Vex portal system. Can you help us find the power source so we can get him out?
Oh yes, by locating the original Vex teleporter the Cade unit used, you can shut down the loop and free him. I can guide you there.
Okay, so we find this Vex teleporter and shut it down. Easy.
Hello, Sparrow. Makes getting around a lot quicker. Sometimes when you go into areas like this, it gets a bit hard to navigate, but I think I'll be able to manage.
Ugh. What is this stuff?
It's called radiolaria. You know, Vex mind fluid.
Vex juice.
This stuff is organic. Seems the Vex are not pure robot.
It kills you. I almost died from standing in it. It'd be hilarious if I died from not even anything attacking me.
have possibly brought Cade to Nessus?
I know the answer.
1, stop listening in on us. 2, what's the answer?
He asked me not to tell anyone. Warning, Vex threat detected. They are blocking your path to the Cade unit's teleporter. You will have to eliminate them.
So these are the Vex version of explodey fun things. They're called fanatics. Instead of just walking like the Hive ones do, these ones shoot at you as well. And they also leave a pool of that radiolaria stuff behind. So the plot to Destiny is you are what's called a Guardian. So essentially this is a post-apocalyptic. You're in a post-apocalyptic sort of galaxy where there's only one city left of Earth in existence, and you are a Guardian that helps protect it using a power called light. Now, light is granted to you from a giant ball in the sky called the Traveler, which is essentially your deity, your god. So you get light from the Traveler through your little companion called the Ghost, which is that little thing that keeps following me around that you probably have seen a few times. But in a way, he's kind of like my conduit for the light, and he transfers it to me. Now, the idea of this is that apparently I am killing all of these things to protect the last city of Earth. When in reality, I'm not protecting anything. The last city of Earth's already gone, I'm trying to take it back. So the idea is that these are all enemy alien factions, and I have to try and do what I need to do to protect the last city of humankind. That's the whole premise of Destiny. Does that make sense, Trojan? It's quite good, like, it's made by the same people who made Halo as well. That's why they have like a sort of alien theme to it, because Halo people made it.
This is the Vex teleporter?
Yes, the Cade 6 will want it. You should pick it up.
Take that, you scrap heap! I'm out, baby! Out! Woo!
Hey, where are you?
Hey! You did it! You got me out! Ha! 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 Where am I?
They really are quite good,
Cade
like,
unit, you are near the remains
when I
of my
stop talking.
reactor core. Welcome to the Exodus Black, where all your dreams come true.
I'm just mindful of when the NPCs are talking so no one misses any parts of the story. So
Seems like you've met my new friends, Failsafe, and her evil twin, Failsafe.
Which is the evil one?
If I had feelings, they would be hurt.
alright. So yeah, the graphics are quite good in this game. You can play it in 4K if you want it. I'm personally not playing it in 4K right now.
Fallon's got the Vex in a tizzy, and by tizzy, I mean murderous rampage. I'll hunker down in the Exodus Black.
Here, but my hull is in 108 pieces. Decks 1 through 20 are buried, and my coolant system... I am a mess.
My thoughts exactly,
we know,
Trojan.
Failsafe. We know.
My thoughts exactly. They talk a lot. But yeah, I'm actually playing it in standard HD at the moment, not even 4K. So you can play it in 4K,
But then you'd miss all the fun.
but it's just like,
That is a really big Vex.
for some reason the 4K settings on the game towards my TV don't quite match up properly. So that's why it actually looks better in terms of colouring and contrast to actually play in standard HD for me. Which still looks quite good, as you guys are seeing through the screen there. Like, can't complain about that. Oh yeah, NPCs like to talk, no matter what game it is. That's why whenever I talk to some of the vendors, I don't even let them finish. I kind of just cancel the conversation because they're trying to be relevant in a way when they're not actually a relevant part of the story at all. Kate's a relevant part of the story, so it's fail safe, but like some of them just drone on and on and on about their side stories, when in reality it's like, no one asked, so stop talking. Oh, you can die from your own grenades and your own rockets as well, just pre-warning. I almost gave you a example of that one right there. Alright, let me go to safety. Thank you for letting me know about the sound. Hopefully that's better. Is that better, Trojan, you reckon? Or is that still not good enough? So like now, like, let me find someone that's shotgun in the face. How about now?
Hold on, we're on our way.
That's good
Stupid
to hear.
NPCs.
Just the Fallen just found it.
Activating defensive shield. The K-6 must stand back.
Hey,
There are a
nice
lot of
one,
enemies
Failsafe.
here. It's
Fallen can't get
annoying.
to us now.
But I killed the main boss enemy, so awesome. Thank you for letting me know. So I'll just keep it at this game volume whenever I do a stream then. So it was up from the last one because I was doing some Destiny over the on Monday, I think it was, with Ruster Oz here in the thing. But I was using one of my other characters, so I turned up the volume because I didn't need to talk or anything.
Hey, you probably want to hustle. I think they just said something about ripping my beautiful horn off my face. My beautiful, beautiful horn?
Intruder alert.
It's us!
As you can see, the scout rifle range is pretty good. Sniper rifles a bit better, but sniper rifles are slow. Hey, Rasta. So Rasta plays primarily as a warlock. So that's one of the other factions of characters you can be. Like warlock is probably my secondary character. I have nothing against Titans. I just prefer to use warlock over them, and then hunter over warlock. So I've been a hunter ever since Destiny 1, so that's why I just stuck with them. Normally the way it works is that hunters are good at speed, Titans are good at defense and like being resilient tanks, and I guess warlocks are a bit of both. I guess in a way, like warlocks have some pretty cool moves that can get you out of some sticky situations. They're good support characters at the end of the day as well. Some of their subclasses can, like the Healing Rift, really good support can get you out of really sticky situations. Guys, making me do a chase. God, there are a lot of them. I think you guys are good luck, because normally I would have died way before now. So thank you for being here and keeping me alive. So he's one of the bosses, so he's got a lot of health and he's really tall and he likes to stomp around like he owns the place.
Hey, that fallen dropped something.
Oh, here we go. Kind of scorch cannon. Nice. When I killed him, I got his weapon, so it only lasts for a certain amount of time. Yeah, I don't get to keep it, unfortunately. Ta-da!
You have saved us. Updating my crew log. New
I'm not on the
Captain
city, I'm on
Nessus.
Nessus.
Welcome
I can burn
aboard,
this place
Captain.
down all I want. I'm working my way back to the city.
Hey, hey, down, down, down.
So it's true. The light found its way back to you. Not that I'm jealous or nothing, but take it easy out there, will you? You're making me look bad.
What, may we ask, were you going to do with a Vex teleporter?
Get up close and personal with Gull, put a bullet in his head, then maybe eat a sandwich. Gotta work out a few kinks
Very
first.
optimistic.
Fun fact about the Vex tech. Not as intuitive as you'd think.
Cade, you can't do this alone.
Hell, I can't.
Even if you manage to kill Gaul, when the Red Legion leave a system, defeat or victory, they leave nothing behind.
The Cabal are bad guys who do bad things. Yes, I get it.
I'm sorry, but I do not think you do. The Cabal literally leave nothing behind. They have a weapon that can destroy a star, and it is pointed directly at our sun.
Hey, 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 easy, easy. You're gonna blow a bulb.
Zavala has a plan. He needs you, Cade.
Yes, well, Zavala always says he has a plan, but sometimes he just... Wait. Zavala said he needs me? As in you heard those exact words coming out of Zavala's mouth?
Yes, we did.
Please tell me you recorded it!
Just shit, Sarah.
Well, did Akora at least hear it?
Actually, Zavala lost her after the city fell. We don't know where she is.
Io. Io, it's where she'd go to look for answers. Hey, thanks. Oh, you were.
It's always good when he comes into it. He's always like a little shit stirrer. I love him. So let me know, what do you think of Cade? What do you think of Failsafe? Who do you think would win in a fight? Failsafe or Cade? Let me know. Personally, I'd be rooting for Failsafe. Like, there's two of her and there's only one of Cade, so let's be real. Let's go have a look-see at emotes again, shall we? Let's equip some of them. if any characters come on screen that you don't know who they are, I can explain who they are for you. But that there is Failsafe. The lovely Failsafe.
Greetings.
In all of her lovely duality.
Hello. You must be...
Hello. Let's have a look at what her thing is.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna get one engram from her. We can have a look at what it looks like. So it gave me a weapon known as a sidearm. Oh look, that's a real person. Alex Tima. Hello, Alex Tima. So I just got a sidearm. So a sidearm is like a little... Give me a second. Ruined my talking. So sidearm, I'm going to actually put it on. Kind of like a little handgun. I actually don't mind using them, they're quite fun. Yeah, pistol, that's what I was thinking. I couldn't think of the word, I was like, handgun? Handgun? Yeah, so you get some of the fallen on these things. Oh, okay then. Evil will fall on the little vehicles. You're not getting away alive. Where'd you go? Yeah, they ran away. Sucks! Screw the evidence. Ah, next mission. Let's do it. Sacrilege. Okie dokie. Let's go see Ikora. So just a recap of what we've done so far, because we've been through quite a bit in this stream already, which is quite surprising. I don't remember it going this fast when I originally did it, but one of those hover vehicles in there. Yeah, it kind of looks like that. It kind of looks like the Ghosts a little bit, or the Wraiths, or whatever they're called. I forgot what they were called in Halo. But yeah, so what we've been through today already, we've been to Titan, seen Zavala, who is the leader of the Titans, is also the leader of everyone who protects the city. We've met Zavala on Titan, completed Titan. We've met Sloan, who is the second in command, on Titan as well, which is this one here, which is the sea planet. We've also been to Nessus now, met the Failsafe, and met Cade 6, who is the leader of the Hunters, trickster of the group, essentially, and now we're heading over to Io. No, we don't want... It won't let us go to where I want to go. Alright, so I'm having a little bit of an issue right now, mainly because it wants me to... I'm gonna have to fly here. It wants me to do the mission that is currently on for Season of the Arrivals, which is the current season that is running in Destiny. But because it's on the same planet, which is where Ikora is, which is where we need to go, I'm in a bit of a dilemma. So we're gonna have to fly in, negate this mission, and then find out where Ikora is to make sure we don't ruin any of the storyline for any of you, because it may ruin...
The day you've been dreading has finally arrived. The darkness is here.
Yeah, ignore everything
boots on
Zavala
the
is saying,
ground,
because he's over dramatic
recon.
and he doesn't make sense.
There's a pyramid.
We don't want to listen to him right now.
It's all
What I'm
ready
going to
to
do
save
is I'm going to talk over him,
I'd lean
and
on Eris's expertise,
we are going
but
to
we
look at
haven't
my
been able to
emotes
reach her.
again to try and distract
both
away from the
know
idea that
that
Zavala's trying to ruin the storyline for
Eris
us.
is our best chance
thank
at
you.
understanding what we're
Another
up
good one
against.
here.
I need her at the tower. She's too
We
valuable
got the
an asset
s'mores.
to Find her, Guardian.
Magic fire.
Bring her home.
We've also got, for any soccer fans out there, we've got red card. So these are all emotes that you can unlock over time by doing various activities. My little chicken. What else do we have? For any of the British out there, we have the cups of tea. And just throw the cup away like it's nothing.
Eris Morn, a guardian without a
Eris
ghost.
Morn. We don't want
I
to.
wonder how that must feel.
We don't want to talk to her.
Unnatural. When I look at that ship. Eris, can you hear us? Eris.
Leave
Nothing.
Eris alone. We don't want to deal with that shit right
Zavala,
now.
come in.
Any sign?
My signals are being suppressed. I can't even summon a sparrow.
So ignore everything you just heard from Zavala, because he's trying to ruin our fun and he's trying to ruin our progression in this story, which I don't appreciate. But right now, what we're doing, we're flying into the mission that we're up to, which is called
The
Sacrilege.
whole place hums with energy left behind by the Traveler's unfinished work. No wonder Guardians considered this site sacred. Now that Kate is back in the fold, all we need is to find Ikora, make the Vanguard whole again, and bring down the Almighty.
So tense.
Of all the places I've been in all the years since my rebirth, this is where I return. The last place the Traveler touched. I came for answers. I stand here, still with nothing.
Ikora, Zavala is forming a resistance, and he believes...
What good is a resistance when you are the only one who would survive? I believe this Ghoul creature knows the Traveler blessed this site.
Yeah,
I believe
so
he sent
I agree.
his legion to find something
I'll
they
speak
could
to that in a
never
second.
possibly understand. And I believe they will continue to desecrate all we hold sacred. Save this place, Guardian. Do not squander this second chance.
So, yeah, so what Trojan just said there in the chat is they talk like Star Wars characters. And I think there is some sort of truth to that, purely because they refer to the light as a sort of being. They refer to this power of the light from the Traveler as a force that exists. I even said a force then, so there goes the idea anyway. As sort of existence that is inside of all things. And that's kind of like how the Jedi explain what the Force is in Star Wars. And if you think about it real closely as well, the Vanguard, which is Ikora, Cade, and Zavala, they're kind of like a glorified Jedi Council in a way.
Red Legion ships have been in and out non-stop since I got here. We need to know what they're doing. Get into that base.
Look at the sky.
So I
What
guess
is that, Ikora?
Energy. The Traveler's energy. What have they done?
talking.
This is my fault. I could have stopped this.
Ikora, there's no way. Not without your light.
I am more than just my light. I could have tried. I should have tried. But after all these years, dying, being reborn, dying again, the Traveler has left me with one life. And I am afraid to lose it.
That might happen anyway. Gaul has a weapon that can blow up our sun.
What? Why would he destroy what he's worked so hard to conquer? Get into that base. There must be answers there.
Looks like the Legion's packing up, Ikora.
Find out what they're shipping. We need every scrap of intel we can get.
So, back to my Star Wars thing. So, the Vanguard of Ikora, Zavala, and Cade, in a way, they're kind of like a glorified Jedi Council, which then, by extension, if I've placed my knowledge storyline in the right area, Cabal are the Empire, and it essentially makes us... I don't think it really makes us anyone in relation to Star Wars. I was going to say Anakin, but there's not really any arc of us to... story arc of us to go bad. We essentially just stay within our best interest the whole time. So... yes, that in itself is bad. But yeah, there are a lot of similarities between this sort of storyline, the characters, how they react towards certain things, and Star Wars. I've noticed that quite a bit of times myself. It's not a bad thing, I love Star Wars.
A drill? Are they mining the Traveler's energy? No, it's not light. It can't give the Traveler's blessing. Not to me, not to Gaul. Or could it?
So where we are right now is a place called Io.
What do you see?
I don't know. Dimensional rifts. Some kind of magic.
The Taken.
They're on Io right now, which is the last place the Traveler, which is the god / deity, touched when he basically went on a protective rampage, half killed himself to protect humankind. This is where a lot of the Traveler's energy is stored, the raw energy. And what's happening now is that the Red Legion, which are the evil people, the Space Rhinos, the Cabal, what they're trying to do now is they're trying to harvest the raw energy of the Traveler to try and use it for themselves, so they can get the power of the light to try and become immortal, essentially like Guardians are. I like the early movies of Star Wars. They were good. The latest ones are pretty bad. I like Star Wars all around. Out of the trilogies, I'd probably say 1, 2, and 3, episodes 1, 2, and 3 are my favorites. Like, chronologically, the way the movies go are my favorites. But I still have nothing against 7, 8, 9. From what I've read, a lot of people do have something against 7, 8, 9. But me personally, I just love it because I love everything Star Wars. That's just... I actually saw the last one, The Rise of Skywalker, in midnight screening. I've never ever gone to a midnight screening before for any movie, so that probably like speaks to how into Star Wars I am. So who I'm facing now is, I guess you could kind of call them a faction. They're a bit mindless. They're called the Taken. So they're basically souls taken into the darkness and morphed and things to try and attack anything that moves, essentially.
Be drawn to the Traveler's energy. They are no longer fallen or Cabal. A Hive God changed them with the dark powers he stole. Wait. Is Gaul's plan to do the same, but with the light? That has to be it.
Nightmare fuel, yep. So there's a good old wizard thing that I was talking about before, one of those, but it's a Taken one. So essentially, it's a mixture of all the other factions put together in Taken form. So they're basically taking a new form, and they're essentially the same thing for the most part. Some of them may act differently, some of them may act more erratically, but they all die the same way.
Must be mining the Traveler's remnant energy in the hopes of transforming
That damn
himself
screech,
and
exactly.
the Red Legion into wielders of the light. If he succeeds, he will become immortal, unstoppable. We have to tell Zavala. Meet me outside.
These are little taken bombs that left behind. And I just got a new headpiece. Let's put it on. Fashionable. Look like a bloody robber. I promise not all of the armor looks this ugly. When you get later on, you get some actual decently looking armor that you actually want to use.
All channels, this is a Skyshock alert. Someone or something drew the Taken here.
Asher Mir?
Oh god.
Is that you?
Irrelevant. The Taken are sapping the moon's energy. I hypothesize that Io will implode if someone does not intervene.
Guardian, we cannot lose this sacred place. Do what must be done. Stop the Taken.
So, we're about to meet Asher Mir.
Stop them! Doubtless those mindless vermin intend to summon every last one of their spectral friends to devour this moon.
So, one thing you gotta learn about warlocks is they're essentially the academics of the three classes. So, by extension, because they are in the pursuit of knowledge and the mysteries of the universe to try and use them through their strengths, they have this general egotistical attitude where they just think they're better than everyone else. Asher Mir is like that, but on steroids. I have not met a single person who likes Asher Mir. He is very annoying. And if I could shoot him and kill him, I would have done so already. And enjoyed it.
There it goes. Looks like we closed the portal.
And why am I still seeing abnormal neutrino scattering?
Hang on. We're gonna take a closer look. We definitely didn't close it.
Ah, remedy this mess, you fools!
Ta-da!
Portal's closed. We're clear. Ikora, I know this place
There
is
we go.
important to you.
Little robot dance.
There's nothing for me here on Io. I have one life left to give, and I will give it gladly to stop Gaul. We leave now.
Don't be so hasty. Ikora Ray, we must talk. And as for you, meddling Guardian, I have a few choice things to say to you.
Ikora Ray, you need to ditch him and move on with your life, love. Love yourself. What techno music? Oh, yeah, the techno music. I killed all the things that were there, so they kind of like take the music away and let's let Ashemia, the inferior being, talk. I don't quite understand it myself, but music appears when there's enemies to kill. It's one of the good things about this game. You always know when there's an enemy nearby if music happens. Right, so it's doing that little thing where it doesn't want to show me again, so let's talk about some shaders. So shaders are essentially clothing dyes that come in many different variations, many different forms, and like you can change the color of any part of your armor or weapons to look like that color. So that's what would happen if I put the Reef Made shader on all of my armor. That's what I would look like. Actually, doesn't look quite bad, to be honest. Not that bad at all. One of my favorite shaders that I like to use is, where are you, buddy? This one, Xeno Silver. I think it's to pronounce it, Xeno Silver, Xeno Silver. Doesn't look quite good on there, but it has a nice blue tinge that kind of looks like a chrome sort of thing when it's applied to the right armor. Oh, they really. Yeah, I thought that's what you're meaning, but I thought you were talking about the music I was playing when I was killing the evil people. This is what I was trying to talk about my first stream. So you can hold R3 in, and what happens is, I'm sorry, Alchemist, if you ever watch this video, I'm using you as an example. You can view someone's profile to send them a friends list. You can see what clan they're a part of. So the clan name is under the player's name itself. You can invite them to join your fire team, which means that they'll be walking around with you, helping you with your tasks. You can report them. Let's hope you never have to report anyone for any reason. Or if their fire team settings are open, you can actually just join them on the spot. So for general exploration, I just answered my own question. For general exploration, you can only have a maximum of 3 people in one team.
Yes?
This is Ashemia.
Ikora tells me that Commander somebody, I don't care, has a plan to attack the so-called Almighty.
So let's
A
get one
plan
there.
unsupported by any data. However, there are remnants of an old interplanetary defense network here. We shall Yes, go.
So I actually got a new emblem as well as a new shader and a new headpiece. So I'm going to put on the new headpiece. With new emblem, I'll chuck that on as well.
Feel the nanomachines in your tendons. It's just your mind playing tricks.
So we're closing in on 8 PM again. So I won't start the next mission, but what I will do is I'm going to fly back to the farm, which is the neutral social space that that we all visited back in my first stream. For those of you who haven't seen the first stream yet, they have no idea what the farm is. So essentially, the farm is a refuge where the citizens of the last city, as well as all the Guardians who fled the city, went after Gaul and the Red Legion destroyed the tower, or took over the tower, I should say. But this is a place where we went for refuge. The tower is unlocked at the moment, where I can go back to the tower and if I want to do my activities and stuff. But to keep in the essence of the campaign that we're running, I'm choosing to go back to the farm instead and deal with the things that are here, because I don't want to sort of break the storyline from where we are now. Going back to the tower may ruin that. So what I'm doing now, I'm heading to the farm where I'm going to see a person called Tyra Khan. She is what's known as a cryptarch. So in my inventory, you will see here that I've got engrams here. So what they are items, either armor or weapon, that need to be decrypted by a cryptarch in order to discover what they are, and I can then equip them. So I'm going to do those for engrams at Tyra, and then I think I'll explain a few more things, and then we'll probably call it a night. So just a reminder, as I was saying towards the beginning, there is a little overlay screen that if you click the Destiny symbol overlay on the right-hand side of my stream screen, you'll be able to see the items that I am running as well. This here is Tyra, good old Tyra.
Let's begin.
Okay, so she's not going to decrypt my things for me because it's expecting me to go to the cryptarch at the tower, which I'm going to refuse to do. But, yeah, one of the fun things here about the farm, again, if you didn't see the first stream, this will be new to you, is the little soccer ball here. You can kick it around. You can bring a bunch of friends here and have a soccer game. It's good fun. And actually keep the score for you as well. Just before I go, what else is there? We've got our emotes, we've got our finishes. You will unlock more finishes as you go along. With your emblems, again, you will unlock more as you go along. Same with ships, same with sparrows, or vehicles as they say here. Shaders, you can, once you own one variation of the shader, so that's, say I only have one multiple of the Xeno Silver shader here, I can go into my collections. You can do this with most items and unlockables in this game. I can go to Flare, which is where all my creative stuff are. Here I can reacquire my emblems that I've unlocked, shaders, transmat effects. That's the effect that happens when you leave your ship. So here's an example of one. So when I go out of my ship, that's what people would see if I choose to use that one. Masks, so sometimes there are events where you can wear masks. It's quite hilarious. I can wear a Gaul mask if I wanted. Fashionable. And then we've also got the finishes as well. So these are some of the finishes that you can unlock. It's pretty cool what you can do, but yeah, I'll just show you. So, say for example, I want to get Xeno Silver. It tells me how much I need to spend in order to get one more multiple of that one. So let's go do one for example. The inventory. And then now you see here I've got two. So then I can put it on two pieces of armor if I want. But I think one of my favorites besides Xeno Silver would be Praetorian Visage as well. Because of the low quality of my armor, they don't take to the shaders all too well, but actually that one doesn't look too bad, I will admit. Alrighty. I think that's where we're going to wrap it up for tonight. But what we've covered tonight, essentially, is we've been to Titan to see Zavala, we've met Sloane, we've dealt with the Hive. We've met the Hive for the first time on Titan, dealt with them, and we also learnt about Cabal's giant war machine called the Almighty, which has the power to destroy the sun. And of course, as you would know, killing the sun would basically mean end of life as we know it. After that, we went to a planet called Nessus, where we met Cade 6, who is the vanguard of the Hunters, and we also met Failsafe, who is a wonderful, wonderful person / AI who has bipolar and multiple personalities. And then finished off by going to Io, which is the place where the Traveler, our deity, last touched and left behind a shit ton of raw energy, which the Cabal are now trying to mine to turn themselves into immortal guardians like ourselves. That's where we're going to leave it for tonight, so I hope that you can join me again on Sunday, when we'll be continuing the story. We will be finishing the campaign of Red War on Sunday, so if you've been following the journey up until this point, I recommend that you join me again for Sunday, because at the speed that we're going, we're most probably going to be finishing it on Sunday. And if we're down to one last mission, I will guarantee to finish it on Sunday. So I hope you can join me. I also will be doing another live stream on Friday, but on Friday it will be streaming Star Wars Battlefront 2. So if you ever wondered what Star Wars Battlefront 2 looks like, I will be playing a little bit of that one as well. So I hope you can join me, but thanks for joining me here tonight, and have a good one.